Man, it was like I just felt good. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it was like necessarily like I wasn't coherent enough to see the negative effects of it. You know, it was relief. That's what it did to me. It gave me like relief from like whatever I thought was my problems back then, being so young. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what everything was for me. It was just like I didn't have to have any problems ever if I was high. You know, my only problem was how am I gonna get high next? You know?
Yeah.
So that's what it gave me. You know, I mean, it was full blown before I even touched fentanyl, but like when I really just adjusted to that being like the only thing was like probably the first time I used it. Like I didn't care about the other stuff anymore. It was like I remember the first time I got loaded on fentanyl, I was like, the people I did it with were like, we're just gonna do this once.
What's up, man? Welcome back to Sober Champs. It's been a little bit of a time away. But you know what? Sometimes time away is pretty good. Took a little break. We had a couple of situations occur where just, man, I needed to step away for a little bit, and now we're back. We have a guest today that's very special to me. Known him for a few years now, I think almost 3 years, and you've been here a couple of times, and we had some issues with the audio and all that, but I think third time's a charm.
Yes, sir.
So I'd like to introduce Aidan. Aidan, welcome to the Sober Champs, the podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Third time.
Let's go. Oh man. So a lot has happened since we've done this. We were just looking back. Maybe it's been 6 months, a year or something since we've spoken on the podcast, and a lot has happened in your life, and a lot has happened in mine, and so I'd like to take some time to just kind of talk about, where, how we met, what we're doing, your journey of sobriety, like what's your sober date? What's your sober date?
July 1st, 2022.
July 1st, 2020. Okay.
6 months away from 3 years.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. You said how many days?
Like 950 or something, like that.
Yeah, I got 1,970 today. I got
awesome.
I got it in my calendar for 2,000. Like I like big numbers.
Yeah.
Or numbers in general.
Yeah.
So, man, congratulations on that. That's a big deal. How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
What?
19.
19.
Yeah.
Woo. So you're almost 3 years sober at 19.
Yeah.
When's your birthday? Like your belly
September
button?
9th, 2005.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because your sober date's my birthday.
Your birthday is my sober date.
Yeah.
Incredible. So, let's just get into it. With this break being had in Sober Champs, I've kind of gotten an idea of where I want to go with this podcast. And as much as I love the stories of the struggle, which qualify all of us to be where we are today, I really just want to touch on it for a few minutes, give me a story or two about your use. And then let's get into like how you got clean and sober. And then let's get into like what you're doing today. I mean, at 19 years old, I really don't have a huge like history. I'm not sitting down with a 50, 60-year-old here, so we got to look at the clock and see how much time we really have. But that being said, let's break down kind of what got you on Sober Champs pretty much. What got you sober? As far as why did you need to get sober? What were you using? What was the problem at large?
Yeah.
Take me back to maybe your first use, and then maybe what kind of catapulted you into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
First time I got loaded, I was really young, really just like I don't even know, going into middle school, really young, and I remember my first time I smoked weed for the first time I ever got loaded. And I was with my buddies, and we stole, one of my friends stole his older brother's weed, and we got high, and I was like, whoa, like why would I ever want to be anything but high? You know what I mean? And that just like definitely plummeted or like spiraled really quickly. But it was just like as soon as I got that first high, nothing crazy. You know what I mean?
How'd you smoke, a J or a pipe or apple?
First time,
foil.
First time I ever smoked. We got it was a Coke bottle.
Come on.
We took a Coke bottle and we poked the little holes in it and we smoked out of a Coke can. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I got high. Yeah.
I used to always wonder, like, you know, cats used to like smoking out of the can, and I'd always be like, "Yo, man, that looks really unhealthy." Like, I don't know, it's like the coloration and the colors on it and the burning of the aluminum. I just wasn't sure if that was healthy. Yeah. And so anyway, okay, so you get high.
Yeah, no, it was we went from smoking out of the Coke can and just like then we got the pipe and the bong, and then it was like a quick. Like I said, it plummeted or spiraled really fast into like experimenting with like anything. You know what I mean? Like started drinking as I got older, and that was like super tight. And I loved doing both at the same time. That was even better. You know, I got the best of both worlds. That's what I thought. And like quickly started, you know, getting into like trying to do pills and like psychedelics.
What did the drinking do to you? Like what was your feeling with that?
And then I started getting into pills, and then that's when like fentanyl hit the scene for me, and I was like, this is that first high that I was chasing for all that time experimenting. I was always looking for that first high again. Maybe not out of the can, but like those first couple times of getting high, that's what I was looking for.
Oh man, it's called chasing the dragon.
Yeah,
so my buddy Dukes used to call it. I mean, I never really understood it until I was like, ooh wee.
Yeah,
you're trying to chase that first high.
Yeah, and that's what in fentanyl was like, ooh, this is like that. You know what I mean? This is that. And then I was just like, it was just like the spaceship had took off and we were just like going for a ride, like a really slow ride, a very tired ride. But it was like, that's when I really started experiencing like the loss and like the unmanageability in my life and just like everything that I thought like was important other than drugs, like get taken away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the things you kind of talked about, or I know about you, is you hoop.
Yeah.
So you're a basketball player.
Yeah. No, I used to play for the 4th ranked team in the Pacific Northwest. I played AAU and EYBL growing up and like tons of like awesome stuff with basketball. And that was like my thing since I was young, you know, growing up playing and getting on different teams. And that was like my passion. And that was just like, that didn't matter anymore. You can't hoop if you're on fentanyl. You know what I mean?
It must be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started dabbling.
Yeah.
Found fentanyl. How old were you when you if you can remember? I know it was a long time ago.
I want to say like 14 or 15. 15 probably is like I would want to say 14. I don't know. You know, in that range, you know, 14, 15 is when I got introduced to it.
Yeah. When did it start getting full blown? Or that kind of scared you into, you know, thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything. Well, we'll get into that, but like, I don't know if anything scared me into thinking. You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing I'll say before I get into it. But like, one that's came to mind, and you already kind of know about me, is like when I had this family trip to go to Hawaii after being on and off. Being at home, you know, like I wouldn't be at home for a little bit, come home, but we did this family trip together with my mom and my sister and my dad. And I remember I was too scared to bring anything with me through the security checkpoints at the airport. Cause I was like, nah, like I'm not trying to go to jail. So, I didn't get loaded. I was there for, I don't know, a little over a week, 12 days. I don't know. And, just like withdrawing like the entire time. And like, I remember like when I started to get like dope sick like that and start withdrawing, I was able to like get loaded and like not have to go through like being sick.
But like get loaded as far as like drinking?
Well, I'm talking about like being at home before I went. Yeah. I was able to get loaded. Like,
you
get
could
loaded
go
to
get your dope.
Stay good.
Right, stay well. Right.
Yeah. But but when I went to Hawaii, there wasn't that, you know what I mean? And so like,
hey, weird question. Like, were you ever thinking like, man, I'm about to go out here, I'm gonna go look around for this shit, or was it kind of like that?
I mean,
that fear?
this was when I was in Hawaii. I didn't even get like a whole lot of time out to do anything because my body was like tearing itself apart from the inside, you know. And if you have ever withdrawn, you know what that's like, you know. And and so I didn't get a whole lot of time outside, but when I did, I knew there wasn't like, I don't know if there's fentanyl in Hawaii. Hopefully there's not, but like, I didn't think there was. We're on an island in the middle of the ocean. So I was like, I'm not going to find any fentanyl here, but like, I was looking for any way I could drink or if I could smoke some weed. I was able to find some weed there, but like, I didn't ever think that I was going to find any fentanyl there, at least where I was at in Hawaii. So yeah, boom. I got back from Hawaii, saved up all the money that my parents had given me. My friends at home that I used with had banded together to save up their money. And we picked up like a lot for like what I was used to from getting one or two, because that's all I could afford. Cause I spend money every day on it. And I was able to just like, just get as many as I possibly could, a couple $100 worth. And it's cheap. When I was buying them, it was cheap. It's cheap today, but it was cheap back then too. And got home and I overdosed and woke up and I got Narcan and taken to the hospital. And my mom came and got me, and she was like, she didn't even know what was going on, you know, and she was scared and my family was scared. And I was like, all I could think about when I woke up from that overdose is where are my pills at? You know what I mean? And unluckily, and back then it was lucky, but unluckily I was able to get those pills back and get loaded and overdose again and again until I ended up going to treatment. I don't know, maybe 3 weeks after I overdosed. Yeah.
So then that part of the story is very like scary. When I hear it, it's like you overdose and then you get home from the overdose, you got your pills back. Now you're the next day you're having an ambulance come or your mom's driving you to the hospital because you're overdosing again. So it's like a continue.
Yep. Same next day, got high, fell asleep in the living room, overdosed, wake up with paramedics in my house. Like, are you good? Like, what's going on? And that continued on, like overdosing. My mom has to drive me to Seattle Children's, like trying to like get me help. And there's just nothing. There's nothing she can do. The state won't do anything. The hospital can't do anything. You know what I mean? And it was just days and days and days on end until I ended up getting my butt to treatment, you know?
Yeah. So you went to treatment, huh?
Yeah. Well, I didn't. So going to treatment, that process was like a little bit weird for me. I was like the people, well, I woke up one day like late, I woke up and it was like 9:00 and I was confused. I was like, why am I not up? Like I'm supposed to be at school. Like, why didn't my parents wake me up for school? I didn't go to school because I would leave and get high, but I was like, why have my
man, they were supposed to get me up for school because I needed to go to school today. Why am I not going to school?
So I wake up and I walk out in the hallway and I look to my left and there's two people there's two people in my house. I'm like, why are there two people? Like, I'm a little bit confused. And my mom comes up to me and I can't really remember because I don't remember exact details, but I was high before I came out of my room. I'm pretty sure I got high as soon as I woke up. I can't really remember exactly how it went, but I went and he introduced himself. The two dude, and it was a woman, introduced himself to me and they were like, hey, like, this is my name. And then they were like, come to the living room. And I came to the living room. And then like my family, my cousins there. I got like my other cousins on the phone or my aunts on the phone. I can't remember. And they're like telling me all these things. Like, I need help. And I'm like, what do you guys talk? Like, I don't need help. I didn't say anything. I was just sitting there quiet. And by the end of it, they're like, you need to go to treatment. And I'm like, nah, you guys are tripping. Like, I don't need to go to treatment.
I'm good.
Yeah. Like I'm okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So I go outside with one of these guys or one of the people that were there, the dude. And he was like, you can leave. Like, it's all right. Like, it's going to be good. Just come on, just come check it out. And so I'm like, all right, like, I'll go. It'll be a little vacation for me. Not like, I didn't know how long this treatment was. I didn't know anything about it. And so I ended up going to the bathroom and getting loaded. And then we got in the car and I woke up 5 hours later in Montana at treatment. And I was like, what is happening? And they're like, so you're going to be here for 6 months to a year. And I'm like, oh, you guys got me. Like, you guys really got me. So that's how I ended up getting there.
So with that being said, so, you know, I've seen a lot of cats. Mm-hmm. I've talked to a lot of cats. I've been around a lot of people that they want an easy way out. Mm-hmm. As far as they'd come to me, they convey that they have a problem, and then I give them my experience.
Yeah.
My experience has been very clear. I needed to be removed from the access to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
I needed to be set over here, sit down. We're going to clean your system out of the drugs and the alcohol. Mm-hmm. Once that happened, like, my mind started to get a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And so now, once you remove the drugs and alcohol, now we're going to start dealing with some of the other stuff that may have caused the need to, or why I used. Why do I use? What's going on? This is ruining my life. And so by being removed from the dope dealer and just your access, tell me a little bit about that. Like, do you think it's beneficial to, like, be removed, or would you recommend a different way?
No, I think that for some people, like, I know in my own experience, for some people, I'll say this first. For some people, it works to be gone for like 30 days, right? Mm-hmm. That might be what some people need that want it and want to get sober. In my case, like, I wasn't ready to even, like, think about getting sober. That wasn't even my state of mind. So, like, being pulled out and put into, like, a new environment with, like, this just recovery flowing around me, therapy, like, what's going on with you, and, like, having that constant thing around me for a long period of time. Like, I needed that. You know what I mean? I think a lot of youth need that, especially, like, being underdeveloped minds and how the drugs affect our minds. Like, if I didn't have, like, a place far away where I couldn't talk to anybody and you know, be around all this bad stuff and just leave, I probably would be getting high right now. I don't even know if I'd be alive right now.
Correct. You know? Yeah.
So, I mean, like, the longer I stayed there, when I first got there, I wasn't ready, you know? And I didn't want to be ready. I didn't think I had a problem. And so, like, as my time went forward in treatment, I was introduced to AA, and they were like, maybe you should try this. Like, it's a 12-step program. I'm like, what is it? And they're like, but they were, like, making it sound really good. And I was like, shit, maybe I'll get out of treatment quicker.
Yeah, if I just comply.
If I do this 12-step program.
Right.
And so I start going to these meetings and I get a sponsor, and I'm like, and I'm not really, like, getting it fully, but I'm like, oh, okay. Like, there's a place for people that have a problem. Right. And so, like, I started, like, really taking it serious. Like, in my own mind, like, I was like, yeah, like, I have 6 months sober. I have 7 months sober. I have 8, like, being in treatment, saying these things and like, really thinking that I'm the big dog. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm immune to this.
Your ego started popping.
Yeah. And so I was there for about 10 months, and, like, with my ego, like you just said, like, just really going crazy. And, like, I had the most time out of all these kids. I'm mentoring all the kids. Like, I know what I'm doing. Kid brings in some weed, and the first thing I think about doing is, how, like, what's up, bro? Like, can I get high too? Like, let me get some of that. And I relapsed in treatment, and 10 months being there for 10, or it was maybe 9.5 months. I relapsed, and I got caught, and I was like, wow, like, I do have an issue. Like, I've been in treatment for almost a year, and
I'm still making these decisions.
Yeah. And the first thing I think about doing when somebody puts this in front of me,
right, when no one's looking.
Yeah, when nobody's looking, and you guys are trusting me to make the right decision, I'm going to get high. Like, that's not right. And I really beat myself up over that. And I was like, man, like, there's no coming back from this. But I'm just, like, now looking at it, I'm like, I'm so lucky that happened. You know,
right.
Like, if that would have happened here in Seattle, it might not have been with weed. It might have been with fentanyl, or, I don't know, alcohol or something. You know what I mean? Something that could take me out a lot quicker than weed.
Yeah.
And that like really that humbled me a lot and set me up to like really like be in my like ready to grind when I got back, you know what I mean? And so I ended up leaving treatment at 11 weeks or 11 months, 3 weeks and 5 days. I was there and I went home. So yeah, that's how my treatment stay went. And then I got right into it. You know, I started with NA. I got introduced to the NA rooms and started going to this high school called the Recovery IQA, the Recovery High School, the only recovery high school in Seattle, Washington, which I found out from a buddy that I actually went to my treatment center. He told my family about it and my treatment center about it. And I met like this guy called Seth and he was like, I met all these people and I was like, okay, like this is pretty tight. I didn't want to go at first. I wanted to go to regular high school like every other like teenage kid, but I was like, this is dope. And I started like really like getting into it and learning more about AA. And that's what I kind of like ended up traversing to and leaving NA because I just kind of rocked in there a little bit better. But like the one thing that like got left out of like my treatment stay, which I didn't like focus on, was like I got really normalized and like a very good understanding of like my emotions and like how drugs affect my mind and like why I can't do them and like admitting that I have a problem. Like that's what I got really good at, but I didn't get really good at like changing my behaviors.
Right.
You know, so
it's one thing to like know all the stuff. It's another thing to like take action. Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah, that's something that I've struggled with myself. Doing the right thing. Yeah. Right. It just for like I'm 42, so I've had a little bit of time to navigate, and really, it's the idea that I spent a lot of time in use of my life and manipulating and trying to maneuver and save my addiction, and so there were a lot of behaviors that came up, and those behaviors were not conducive for a healthy life. And so breaking those habits of like, you know, I remember there was a situation where my wife would she would make dinner every night. And I'd when I came out of treatment, I for some reason went through this phase of like eating out all the time. Like when I was in treatment, they had this crappy food I didn't really like. And so like I felt like I'd been deprived. And so I went to this situation where I would stop by food places on the way home. And then my wife would have a fresh meal at the house. And so then she'd be like, "Are you hungry?" And it's like lying by omission, right? She didn't ask me, did I eat? Yeah. You know, did I just purchase food about 20 minutes before and eat a whole other meal and then come here and then eat another meal, not to disrespect my wife. Yeah. So the idea was like trying to get on the path of the changed behaviors. Yeah. So yeah, continue, man. So yeah, so you learned what they were, your feelings and what you should do, but you weren't changing necessarily the behaviors. You were sober. Yeah, I was sober and like able to like hold that abstinence piece of it, but like it was really easy to just dip into that like that double life aspect of it. Like I was really comfortable being around the same people, or like not even the same people, but just like the same situations, the same, you know, kind of behaviors from other people, like engaging in the same behaviors, like lying and cheating and stealing and doing the wrong thing, and like really just like just taking away from like what recovery can be, you know, and not giving myself an opportunity to experience some of the good things that came with it, because I wasn't buying into like myself and like continuing like this path of growth for me. Yeah, you weren't into action. No. Or you were just sitting there like, yeah, I'm sober. Yeah. And it's kind of one of those things where I've been there before. It's like you're really proud to be sober. Yeah. And you're around these other cats that might not be. So there's kind of this like, yeah, like, man, you should come join the sober team. And like the phrase goes, like, you can get your friends will get you loaded before you can get them sober. Mm-hmm. And the idea is like I've one of the reasons why I didn't get sober was because thought I was going to lose all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to just kick me to the curb and say, you know what, Pete, since you don't get high or get loaded anymore, you're out.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like, there were some people like that,
Mm-hmm.
but my real friends stayed. And to this day, I have a numerous amount of friends, whether they're in use or not, or they're regular cats that can pick up and put down stuff or are in the rooms. And so it's not as scary as I made it seem.
Yeah.
So you were, because I think when we met, you were struggling with like the double life.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, man, I'm in it. Yeah, see, you were a good chameleon.
Yeah.
You could say like, you were like, yeah, like I'm doing great. Hey, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You ever meet those people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah.
And then you just let them talk.
Yeah. I think it was right around the point I had like a turning point for me where I kind of got caught up in some of my lies with some of the people that I've met in recovery and like really sat down and like been like, bro, you're gonna kill like might as well just give up on you, because if you can't like even take this seriously, like what are we gonna do with you? And like that, I got a wake up call in recovery with like a good amount of time sober, and then then you and me met. That's and then I started kind of grinding it out. Like I was like, okay, I really need to like get some trust back. Like this isn't tight. And I had to change my environment and the people I was around. And then I think that you and me met.
And we went to that retreat. Remember we went to that retreat?
Yeah. That was like right after we met too. That was like within like, I don't even know, like 2 or 3 months of us meeting. We met at a meeting, and then I was like, this guy's pretty cool. I was like, what's up with this dude?
I thought you were pretty cool. Yeah.
And then we were like, we went over to the to Anacortes.
Yeah. Deception Pass.
Deception Pass.
Yeah.
And had that. And that was like a moment, like a turning point. Like I would say that probably marks a point in my recovery where it was like, this is what happened and this is what's going on now.
Yeah, so just for people can understand what we're talking about, there was like a fellowship. What do we call it? It was a weekend getaway. And it was like a 3-day weekend at Deception Pass, and there was like 50 to 60 men that were all sober and were focused on carrying the message of sobriety and recovery. And we hung out at this waterfront property, and we all had like little rooms, and we had an Airbnb. And so we stayed up to the wee hours of the night. I think Alvin was there, you and me. And anyway, so we have this moment of like isolation of like, this is a whole bunch of men together talking about recovery and sobriety. And like, I had never been to one of those.
Yeah.
Because
I had been to one before.
You had went into the one that was over. It was like an NA one that
it was Icky Paw, right?
Was that what it was?
I think it was Icky Paw.
Okay.
That was all right. It was
hold on. It was great. It was great. My point though was like, I got sober during COVID. Yeah. And like, I was probably like a year sober, 6 months, and no cool things had happened. Like no getaways had happened, and COVID hit. Yeah. And then for like 2 years, nobody went outside of their house.
Yeah, nothing crazy like that.
Yeah, and like, so then all these people were like, yo, man, it's so cool when we get to go away and hang out together. And I'd just be like, bro, we're stuck in the city doing nothing. Yeah. And this better be what it is, because at this point, this is all I got. Yeah. So this better be popping. But then we go to this retreat.
And it was just like, for me, it was like amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like being able to be with all those people and just like be around my people. Yeah. Like that's what it felt like for me. It's like I'm with all like the people that I want to be around. Like these are the people that I want to be like, and getting to spend that one-on-one time with you and like have like a lot of clarity around like what I need to be doing. It was filthy. Like probably one of the biggest that's a turning point for me in just like getting to see what sobriety can give you. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge thing, like that people need to be a part of and like indulge in. Cause like if you're just seeing all this bad stuff and then the rooms, like, man, you're not really seeing anything else. So like being able to like experience that for me and like get to be by the water and go and do this cool stuff and talk to these guys that understand me probably better than I do at the time, like was life changing for my own recovery. You know what I mean? I was just filthy. That was a great time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then you get back to town.
Yeah. And we got, man. And then I think like right after that, I got a new job. I actually think I didn't have a job at the time. I got a job. I got a car.
Then you went to Amazon.
Yeah, I was working at Amazon for a while.
Car.
Yeah, that was Amazon, man. But was there for a little bit.
I'm pro-union, man. Hey, they need, anyways, keep going. So Amazon. And
then it was just like I became a CPC.
Oh,
And I started doing the one-on-one.
Sorry, CPC. Can you
certified peer counselor?
Right. So you would get clients or people that.
Yeah. So I started working with young adults, like anywhere from 13 to like 22 is the oldest guy I've ever worked with. 23, and like being able to work with them one-on-one, and like that was a little bit after this, but like get to work with them one-on-one and like show them what that retreat was like for me, you know what I mean? Like through coaching and like give them a good time and like show them why sobriety can be fun, especially for young people, and like show them a part of my life and why my life is maybe attractive to somebody like me, you know? And the crazy part about that was, one more thing, is the same people that did my intervention and took me to treatment are the people that I was contracting with and doing, and I still work for them today and getting clients from, and they put me in this position to be able to do these things. Family centered services, shout out. And it's like life changing, you know?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that you just touched on was like, so you being 19 years old, man. I mean, I was older myself, but like, how can you have sober fun? Like, what does sober fun look like? Because it sounds really like artificial or like, there's no way you can have fun sober.
Well, I mean,
give me some things that you did.
I'm a simple guy. No,
okay. Are you?
I think things get simple in the program, right? So, I mean, like the things for me that I never thought that I would like enjoy doing being sober are like, I mean, like, even for example, like just thinking about like 2 weeks ago, we get to do this yearly trip down to Oregon. I did it last year, and like a couple weeks ago, we just went down to Oregon, and I'm with like some people that are really important to me, like my friends, you know, and my friends are like 40 years older than me nowadays. But like I got to go, we just went snowboarding.
40 years old. Who are you talking about?
Man, maybe not 40 years, maybe like 30.
Hold on, bro. Don't, hey, man. I know who you're hanging out with, and they're not 70 30, years old, bro.
Bro,
that would 19, be 60.
19 plus 40.
40 plus 19. So you're
59, 60. All right, whatever.
Nah, shout out to you guys, man. I'm holding it down for the old timers in here.
Nah, but no, we got to go snowboarding and like being at Airbnb and like stay up all night, like you said at that retreat.
Chop it up.
And I got to go and buy like afford tickets to go to a NBA game and see the Trailblazers get smoked, and
that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
That's good. Shout out to the Supersonics.
Yeah, we need our team back.
Yeah.
But like that stuff, and just like going and jumping in South Lake Union, you know,
cold plunging.
Yeah, like that's what's up. Or going camping, or going on trips. Like the Recovery High School took a group of us like to go and do a bunch of cool stuff. Like we've been able to take trip to Texas. We've been able to go up to Orcas Island with another company that I work for called Bridges, where we get to provide
great segue. Yeah.
Where we get to provide a after school program for youth. You know what I mean? The same youth that like maybe I didn't go to high school with some of them, but you know, I know all of them, and we get to provide like a safe environment and fun environment for like these youth that are trying to stay sober. You know what I mean?
So Bridges is something that like, it's an after school program.
Yeah, after school program, and we're serving all of Seattle. You know what I mean? As many kids as we can. A lot of kids from the Recovery High School, and giving them opportunities to see like what I'm doing in this one-on-one coaching, but like in a bigger broader spectrum with a group of kids that they're friends with, and like get to go and like today we took them to the Seattle Underground tour. Like that's filthy.
That was right around here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right down the block.
Yeah.
And we get to
we're in Pioneer Square, man. Shout out to Color Studios.
Yeah.
Armando back here, baby.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Shout out.
Yeah, you know, in the heart of it right now. So the Underground tour, huh?
Yeah. So we get to do stuff like that, or like take them skating. Or
you know, hey man, I'm a Seattleite. I have never been on the Underground tour. Was it pretty cool?
I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
will.
I mean? It's, yeah, it's cool. It's good history, you know. A lot of stuff I didn't know about Seattle I found out.
And you're doing all this stuff sober, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
all
cool.
of it
That's
sober,
pretty cool.
and the kids are just loving it. You know what I mean? And get to take them out on the boat on South Lake Union and like just like have a good time with them and just like show them what this is about. And like that's what I needed. Like that turning point for me is like something like really big for me. And like I think that everybody deserves to see that and like see what this program can give you. Like what AA and sobriety can give you. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's in Bridges is like it needs more awareness. Like more people need to know about it. And it's just not out there like that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I continue to want you to be here is because you are like you're a pillar of that entity. And you shine full of like what fun and excitement would be is sober.
Yeah.
And so then you're trying to take some other people on that journey with you.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing like there's tough times, right? Like through sobriety.
For sure. I mean that first portion of my sobriety was a whole tough time. You know what I mean?
Yep. I do know.
I've lost friends, you know, in sobriety that maybe didn't die from using but just died. You know what I mean? And like that's been hard, and like seeing like people struggle around you that you really care about. I've had to take some of my close friends and tell them that they need to go back to treatment, or even just in like this line of work. Like you see a lot of like people that you really are like, yeah, they got it, and they don't, you know, maybe not right then, but they need some extra help, and that's hard. But like through if like in my experience, like being able to like have these people around me, like you and Seth and just my friends, my guys from like my meetings that I go to, and just like the men in my life that I really appreciate, and the women in my life that I really appreciate, and my girlfriend and my family, you know, like that foundation that I was able to build through like some of these programs in the rooms is like what's been able to like keep me through those hard times when maybe I would have thought about, man, I don't know what else to do but use.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that used to be my first resort. That was my medicine for stress, or like when something didn't, you know, maybe fit my picture of what should be going on. Like I could just get high and just escape it. But like now it's like going through those motions and having this team of people that is like my coaches and people that I get to take suggestions from and like really listen to them and get honest with, and just like work through those things when maybe I wouldn't have been able to before, you know?
100%. I think what one of the things you're highlighting is just when you're feeling things, like you begin to feel once you become so like of course, when you're getting loaded, you feel things, but the uncomfortability about those feelings can be solved through use. Like I don't want to be uncomfortable, so I'm gonna get high.
Yeah.
Now here we go. Now what happens is when you don't get high anymore, you still feel these feelings, and you now what it sounds like too is like even as young men, you have a fellowship. You have people around you that you can call on. Or they call on you, and you can share the truths and the secrets and the things that might keep you sick.
Yeah.
And you can get that stuff off of you.
Yep.
You know, and it's just so incredible how society right now has really shifted, in my opinion, not fully, but man, there's a really, really big shift in like, hey man, we should be sober. Yeah. Cats should be sober out here. I mean, of course, look, I've always wanted to use like a regular, like a normie, they would call them, like a cat that, you know, and it's crazy. I meet these people that claim, now I'm not always too sure, but they claim that they can pick up a drink.
Yeah.
Pick up a joint, pick up a pill, pick up what the fuck ever, pick it up and then put it down.
Yeah.
And then visit it without obsessing about it, without just thinking about when am I going to get that? Because you talked about it in your story. When you first got high, it's like you're chasing that again, that feeling of high. I want to get high again. Whereas apparently there are these people out there that like, man, I'm good. And then they go about their day, their night, their week, their life without obsessing about it. And so now you're sharing it, like you just have so much fun. A lot of the time, and you're bringing people along with you through bridges. And I don't know, man. I always look back at my life, and I always think about what if. Yeah. Like, what if Bridges was available? What if the recovery high school was available? What if these things were available to a person like myself who, I don't know, maybe I would try it or maybe I wouldn't, not sure. But if it's available.
Well, I mean, it's available, but nobody knows about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like today, in today's age, like there's these things, these things that have, maybe like when you were growing up or when you were in they weren't exist, like nobody thought of this before. And like,
I mean, sobriety was square. Yeah. You know, you can't control your loadedness. You can't control your use. Yeah. And you got to stop. You're square. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I think what we're attempting to do, even through this podcast and through our messaging, is like, this is what it is.
It's filthy.
This is where it's at.
Yeah. This is where you want to be.
Yeah. This is where it's at.
Yeah, and it's like, having these options for people is like what shows them that. You know what I mean? Like for somebody 13, 14, 15, like anywhere, even in their early 20s, like you get sober and then you don't see any you don't see any benefits from it. Like what's the point? You know what I mean? And like that's what's really amazing about having these like the recovery high school, you know, Bridges, family-centered services, like, you know, more people need to know, you know what I mean? And like once you get in here, these kids are like we're getting more and more and more kids, and they want to be there and they want to keep showing up and they want to participate, and they're coming up with ideas to what are we going to do next week? Like, I want to, and then they're like, what about what, you know what I mean? Like they want to do the stuff that we're planning for them. They want it. You know what I mean? Like back in use, I was like, man, I want to get high. And like, you know, I have a little bit of sobriety time, and like all I can think about now is like, man, I want to kick it with Pete. I want to go snowboarding. I want to go, you know, whatever.
It's like you shake off this gorilla. Yeah. Or you shake off this gorilla of use, and now you're living this life of dreams. Yeah. Like you're thinking of things and then you're doing them. You're thinking of things and then you're doing them. It's very like, I always had a problem like thinking of things and then forgetting them. Yeah. Thinking of things, getting high, and whatever, that's too hard to do. And so once that use stopped, and then I started working a program and holding myself accountable. I got this thing called a vision board at the house right now. And right now it's like these things on there that are like just super dreamy. Yeah. Like, you know, and daily things, you know, like, get to bed before 10 p.m., between 10 and 10:30 p.m., work out 4 times a week, you know, before some of the things go. Anyway, I wanted Lionel's favorite car is a Cybertruck. So I wanted a Cybertruck. And so it's these dreams, and like start the podcast again. And here we are. The point is that in use, I didn't really have a shot. No. I didn't really have a shot at fulfilling the dreams. You take away the use and do a little work, help others, and then you put these dreams into action, and little do I know through time, some of those dreams are coming true. Let me get to like, so what does like a week look like for you? Like a day, a week?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just like pretty busy. Like everything's pretty packed. You know, I got 2 jobs, or got a couple jobs going on right now. I'm in college right now to get my degree in social work. And so like, that's just like doing that online along with work. And then like right now it's just like wake up, you know, do my school, go to work, hit my meetings, and like be with my people. And then along with that, I have my my amazing girlfriend over in Arizona. I got to go out there. I try and go out there every month or every other month to go see her. So that's kind of my life right now. It's packed. It's always
Do you
busy.
exercise?
Do I mean, I don't got as much time as I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Used to have to exercise, but I used to, and that was like one of the big things for me in early sobriety and in treatment too, is like having that opportunity to like eat 3 meals a day and hit the gym like every day in treatment, and then like getting home. And that was like one of my big things. I had a mentor who's also in recovery. Like we'd go to the gym every week, and we would, I'd be making sure to eat and like, that was really amazing for me. And I think exercise is a great way. Like that's just like a gateway to early recovery,
Yeah. I totally believe in, So do you know how to cook?
I can cook a little bit. My mom would say otherwise. My mom would probably say, no, he can't cook. He doesn't cook. I can cook a little bit.
So that was one of the things that I'm bringing that up because I've always been so uncomfortable with cooking, and I believe that like what we put in our body is like medicine, right? And so the idea is I've had this fear about cooking and making things for a long time, and so my wife, shout out to Courtney, she's like a wonderful cook, but I have a son. And this guy needs to eat all the time. And so she's not able to somebody's got to carry the load here. Yeah. And I had been choosing to like go out to eat a lot. And so anyway, man, Courtney signed me up for a cooking class. And so yesterday was the first session. And I walk in and it's down at my Tukwila Community Center. And I walk in and man, the average age of these 6-7 people was like 75 years old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were about to say 17.
Yeah, me, I didn't know. It was a shot in the dark, right? Yeah. So, because again, like my fear, I'm doing things that today that I was paralyzed about. Like I had waved the white flag. I'm not going to be able to cook.
Yeah.
So we make refried beans from scratch, rice, and kale chips. Okay?
Nice.
We make it. It's a 3-hour class, 5:30 to 8:30, and we start to eat. We eat. There's some leftovers, and I kid you not, man. I was real proud.
Yeah.
I bring home the leftovers, and tonight, Lionel and Courtney are eating the leftovers. And I'm downstairs getting ready for the podcast, and all I can hear through the vent is, "Hey man, and I'm like, "What? Hold on, man!" Lionel, he's yelling to me, and he's like, hey, and I can't understand what he's saying. So I come upstairs. I'm like, "What's going on, man? What's up?" He was like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is just incredible." And I'm just like, "Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy. Some refried beans and some rice, and this guy's pumped up, and he's just like, he's in his little burrito, and it's this idea that like, I can't even make this up, man. I can't make up what has happened since I got sober."
Yeah.
And so I share that because it's like I'm on this journey of like challenging people to be uncomfortable. Like I want you to work out. This is it's what I want you to work out. I want you to eat better. I want you to cook. I want Armando to work out. I want him to eat better. I want him to sleep better. I want all this. Oh man. Have you ever done a breathwork class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With Hannah.
Oh, you went with Hannah?
Yeah.
Or you did one with Hannah?
I think it was a breathwork class.
Okay, man. Look, we're gonna tell this story. It might have to get edited, but here we go.
Okay.
Because this has changed the game. So I'm a seeker. Okay. I'm looking to get as close. I'm a spiritual guy, so I'm trying to get as close as I can to my higher power.
Okay.
Right? I'm trying to. I've built a good relationship.
Yeah.
But I want to get down. I want to be as close as I can, and so I've done sensory deprivation tanks. I pray. I meditate. I do things. I exercise. I do things that like I'm seeking. Right. I'm seeking, and this group of people that we know. Has participated in breath work. And I want in, right? I want it in. I was like, so what's up, man? Can I get some breath work? Can I access the the leader of the class? And she was, hey man, I get what I hear beings now. What was really said was like, Pete, the person's really busy. I'll set it up for you and we'll work it out. What I heard being said was it's really expensive and you're broke and you can't afford this person. That's what I heard. And I was like, oh man, this is some BS, man. This is some bullshit. And so over time, I don't get the connection. And so then a couple weeks later, maybe even a month or two, man, these people come out of this breathwork class and they're just like, wow, it was so spiritual and it was so awesome. And we were crying. It was like, and I'm like, so what's up? Can I get connection to the person that leads the thing? And again, it was Pete. We'll set it up. We'll get it going. And what I heard again was, you're poor. You can't afford this kind of stuff. And good. So my phone was listening to me. So I get on my Instagram, and there's an ad for a lady that does breath work. Oh. It seems like God. I swear, I'm like, yeah, this is right down the street. It's over here. And it's like it's on Wednesdays. And like, that's going to work out perfectly. And I'll show them I'm going to have a spiritual experience and I ain't broke and I can afford this. So I sign up and I sign my buddy up. He said, yeah, man, I'll go. Let's go, Pete. Let's go. And so, man, we show up and got my buddy's a little tardy, and we get there and man, first red flag for me was this instructor is now there's 14 people, 3 dudes, the rest are women, and there's Kleenex. She's passing out Kleenex boxes, and I'm like, huh. Like, what? Now, mind you, I think breath work is going to be something like this. Let's take a deep breath and let it out and think of all the birds and the bees that are out there in nature. And then let's take another breath in. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay. So next thing you know, she's like, okay, so a little newer, little like she seems like a newer instructor. Maybe she's younger. Doesn't give me an overview of what to expect necessarily, other than like I might be like feeling tingly and like seeing things, and I'm like, man, what are you talking about, man? She's not explaining what I experienced. So she said, here, so we brought our blankets and pillows, and I'm laying on this yoga mat, and we're in this yoga studio. And the next thing you know, she's like, okay, so before we get started, I want to take you through how you're going to breathe. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, all right, so we're going to take a few big, deep breaths and let them out. And then for the next 30 minutes, you're going to breathe like this. And she goes like this. For 30 minutes, I'm supposed to breathe like that? I was like, there is no way I'm doing this. I'm going to hyperventilate. I'm going to die. Yeah. Like, I'm going to need something. And so lights go out, music goes on, put our little masks on, we're laying on our back, and we take a few deep breaths, Now, mind you, I'm a seeker. I'm trying new things out. I'm trying to bring this to the masses. I'm gonna bring it to Aidan and Armando and be like, fellas, this is the new move. We need to get there. And so, man, we start, and she's like, all right, everybody go. And man, this whole room is. I'm like, no way, dog. I'm like, no way. My lips are chapped. I'm like fucking 30 seconds in this shit. I'm like, oh, hell no, man. Like, what? And there's some things that happen in this class. I don't even know these people, man. I don't know them from, I don't know them from a can of paint. I have no idea. And so there's some things going on that are like really volatile. And I'm sitting here and I start fucking laughing so hard. I'm like, my fingers are tingling and I'm like, and I'm just fucking giggling and shit. I'm like, shut the fuck. I'm telling myself, stop laughing. Like, why am I laughing? This shouldn't be cool. Stop laughing. And next thing you know, I can't stop. And I'm just like laying there like, whatever. It's cool. And man, I'm thinking my buddy's gonna leave. He has no like, what did we just sign up for, dog? This is from a resentment. I heard somebody tell me I'm poor, I can't do breath work. I'm in this breath work class, and I have this situation going on where I'm high on oxygen. Like by my breathing. Now, did they tell me this? No. Due to, did some research, and it's called holotropic breathing or breath work. And so I share this because we bust out of there and we get done, and but I get left with like a spiritual experience because at that point the breathing slows down after 30 minutes, and then you're having this like my brain is reacting to the oxygen levels, and then long story short, I'm having an experience. We get done though, and me and my buddy are out in the parking lot, and we're like, dog, what was that? And I remember calling a friend that told me I heard her tell me I was broke and poor. And one of the first things she says is, how much was it? And I was like, $50. And she was like, whoa. That was why. And I said, oh, well, can I get access to this lady that does breath work all special? And like, how much does it cost? And blah. And we go down this whole thing. And I share this story because today I do things that like are outside of my comfort zone. Yeah. I show up to places that are just like whatever. And it's not like about being cool anymore. No. This is about like saving my life. Exactly. It's about experiencing things that I wouldn't have experienced because I was stuck in this like egocentric way of living. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I did a woo-woo thing. This is good. It's like I did something that was like, where am I? So you've done breath work. Tell me about it.
It's nothing
tell
like
me
that.
About it.
No, it's nothing like that. I don't even need to say my story. Yeah. I just did like some stuff with Hana.
Did you do it with like a really well-off person?
No, we didn't even do it with it. It was just me and Hana.
No rich person?
It was just it was like she only made me pay her like a couple $1,000. I don't remember.
Yeah, now you're lying. It's all good. All right, keep going.
No, it was just like, remember the night, I think it was actually her birthday night, and we went down to the Blue Water Bistro right on that water with the dock. Okay. And we went out there and we were listening to some of this breathwork music or something that she said, but it was nothing like that. I think we were just doing a little meditation.
Shout out to Hana. She's helped me through a lot, man. And that we've been, she makes these. Have you ever had the ginger shots? Mm-mm. Anyway, she's all about this holistic experience. Like, see, one of my dreams is to have a place you can go to experience meditation in a zone that you want to have it in. Yeah. Meaning whether that's a sensory deprivation tank, whether that's a cold plunge, whether it's a sauna, whether it's a steam room, whether it's, just a quiet area where you need to just relax and yoga, things like that. Just a full meal deal of a place you can go to tap in, to get quiet. That's always been one of my dreams. and hopefully, you know, that'll come true one day. Moving into maybe something that you, being such a young man, what are some of the things that you dream of or your visions for where you want to go and what you want to be and what you want to do?
Yeah. I think that, like as of right now, man, that story has still got me. That was so funny.
It changed my life. Let me tell you, this is like 3 weeks ago too. But
yeah, and
there was like more detail. But man, we're gonna keep it real
you can tell me
PG.
after.
Yeah, for sure.
No, like as of right now, like my goals for myself, like I want to get done with school. Right, that's like the short term is like getting done with school. Like getting like that, like my own financial stability, like relying on myself for that. But like what I was telling you outside, we had a quick conversation, but like long term is like being able to like have my own treatment center and work, like maybe not even have my own treatment center, but being able to cast a net to serve a wider variety of people. You know what I mean? And like being able to help those people that don't even know about what help looks like. You know, that's like my long term. That's like my long-term like goal for myself is like being able to give back to as many people as I can. And I don't know what that like might look like for me or like how I have to get there. But like I'm figuring that out. You know what I mean? Like right now it's like taking me closer and closer to like being able to help like more people, as many people as I can, and like helping people know about this thing and like making a change in our state and hopefully like more states to like be able to like serve people that can't get served, you know, that need like help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where I work, I have a program, alcohol drug recovery program. And if you're within that network, the resources are plentiful and they're like nothing I've ever experienced because all it is a phone call to a person. And then next thing you know that person facilitates the person that's struggling onto a plane or to a treatment center or to outpatient. But one of my biggest challenges is to like have the resources available to me to pick up cats. Mm-hmm. Just like if we walk down Pioneer Square tonight and we asked if anybody, hey man, would you be interested in a 30-day stay at a treatment center? Mm-hmm. Because it looks like you might need it. Mm-hmm. And if you're willing to go, we got a van right here. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take you and you and you and you if you want to. And so then it's like feeding the masses the resources that I think people like you and me, we don't shy away from sharing our story of sobriety and recovery. Mm-hmm. And like, that's one of the things that like, I think we've been making headway and people out there have helped me be proud about sharing the fact that there is sobriety and recovery and we don't have to keep it all secret and we're like some, you know, caved animals that people are like really, oh no. And now, mind you, society has all types of people and if you view me differently because I'm in recovery or I'm sober, and you want to treat me differently, that's on them. But there are these other people that are like really interested mm-hmm. and intrigued and they mm-hmm. want help and they suffer in silence. And so then it takes people like yourself and me and a whole bunch of our friends and who come out of the woodwork to say, you know what, there is help for you. Yeah. And like that's the dream is to like serve as many people. Yeah. So you're on your way just doing schooling right now? Yeah, schooling and working to get my SCDPT. Which is, come on. Substance use disorder professional trainee. Okay. And then get that T knocked off. So it's just substance use disorder professional. Oh, okay. And getting my, hopefully my bachelor's in social work. That's the goal. And I've had like a lot of really good guidance from like in this community, you meet so many amazing people, right? And I've had the opportunity to meet some of the coolest people that have what I want, you know what I mean? And are doing the things that I want to do and the things that I want to be a part of. And so I've been able to have a lot of like guidance and I've been really lucky with that. And it's like more than school, you know what I mean? Like, I think that like school is important and I want to do it, but like, it's like I'm lucky to know the people I know.
you know, because like a bachelor's degree isn't going to help me find those people that I need to serve. You know what I mean? And like Bridges is like, that's like a great gateway for people. Like that's growing, and like we're going to get so many more people. And I've been able to talk, like my guy Carl from Montana that runs my treatment center. That's like one of my mentors in my life. He was able to come out here and see me and see a little bit about Bridges, and he's able to guide me and help me. And like Seth, like that's my guy. Like I love him, and he's like always there, and he answers the phone and tells me like what I like, gives me suggestions, and I'm able to take those and like put those into action. And like that's one step closer every day. And like my family, my mom, I'm blessed to have an amazing mom, an amazing sister, an amazing dad, and like my supporters, you know, and you, and just like being able to have like this insane support system that's like every day I'm like waking up with a new idea and then a new way to like get closer to that. So
yeah, that's what's up, man. And you know, I think that's just a great way to just ask you if you know, you got anything more you want to share tonight? Because like, man, I think what we just had together just now is very pivotal and helpful, and it's going to get the word out of the things and the resources that are available here in Seattle, at least. Yeah, you got anything more you want to share?
I mean, like a message is like, and I think that this, like you and me talking right now is like showing that, but like what, like the baseline, what it comes down to for me is like, just to like put it in a sentence, is like sobriety is realistic, you know, and sobriety is important, and it doesn't matter what age you are to have this, and to have like, my life is amazing because of sobriety, you know, and because I got to meet these people and put the work in, and like that's everywhere. You know, you just have to look for it, even if it's hard sometimes. Like it's realistic. Doesn't matter how old you are. I went to treatment when I was 16, and look at me now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I think that's what I got.
Yeah, man.
That's what I got. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hey, Armando, thanks, Color Studios.
Yeah.
Man, Pioneer Square, we're back.
Yeah.
We got a new room we're in tonight. Just beautiful situation. So Sober Champs is out. Thanks, Aidan, again for coming through.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have some cologne and some water. We were going to test this tonight, but I think that we'll wait for another night. As you can see, we're fresh out here.
Yeah.
But thanks, Sober Champs out.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Sober Champs.
Mondo.